These artifacts are from the Pacific Northwest, not South America, where Indiana Jones worked. And this man could very well be Indiana Jones. His name is Mike Mosley, though, and he's an archaeologist. Mike, you've been on digs. Have you found the kind of artifacts Indiana was looking for?
Well, we spent a lot of time working down on the Andes of South America, and as you recall, the opening scene, Indiana was after a very nice gold artifact, shaped much like this one. This is about 2,000 years old. It's from the Peruvian coast. They're worth quite a bit of money, and there's a lot of competition between archaeologists and looters.
And obviously, Indiana was going through great pains to try to come back with some of those artifacts. And we thought you'd like to see how some of those scenes in Raiders of the Lost Ark were filmed. Those scenes were almost as exciting as the filming. Take a look.
Rumble. Okay, good, okay.
What I really want to do is show how a director interfaces with all the departments. And so I went after Steve and tried to show the, just the complexity of the job of directing a big film like this. And finally, I really wanted to show that the collaborative nature of film. That it's not literally one man's vision. There's no one man responsible for that film.
Guys, me, really me. I'm looking. Now on 3, all fire. Don't look at me, look where you're firing. 1, 2, 3. Cut.
Raiders of the Lost Ark was a monumental movie, the blockbuster hit of 1981. It was the first joint project for George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, and documenting their heroic effort was a big break for Philip Schuman, 28-year-old San Francisco Bay Area filmmaker.
Why do you think Lucas and Spielberg chose you?
Well, George recognizes talent.
Of course.
Phil first came to the attention of Marcia and George Lucas at the Marin County Film Festival. His black and white feature, Red Dirt, won an award there. But to pay the rent, Phil went on to make a sexploitation film called Randy, a film that may have embarrassed him more than the audience.
Don't be melodramatic, Doctor.
The opportunity then to make a documentary for Raiders could only be a step in the right direction. Just 2 days after he was told he had the job, Phil was on a jet to the south of France.
They had a hands-off policy with me, and they let me really do what I wanted to do. And they were just very sensitive. It was very good working with them. It was great because it was like an excuse. The camera was an excuse to go anywhere. I could go into any department I wanted to. I could walk into a meeting as long as the camera was on my shoulder. I could go anywhere. There were times, I tried to stay, the first rule that I tried to have on the set was to try to be unobtrusive. But there were certain scenes that you would want to really go for broke on, that I went for broke on and really got up and tested how close I could get. Like in the Raven scene where Harrison and Karen come together for, their romantic, kiss and everything, and Steve's in back of them. I saw it coming together, and I just went right in there and stuck the camera in their faces, and nobody flinched much, and I got really good intimate stuff. Then later on that same day, Harrison was working out a problem with Steve, and I found out how far I could get because Steve, blew up at one point. He said, "Stop the cameras, stop the sound, off the set," and because it was just so tense, I really pushed it to the limit.
I need one of the pieces your father collected.
I learned to hate you in the last 10 years.
The one scene that everyone remembers of Raiders is the snake scene. They started out with 2,000 live snakes, but Spielberg said it just wasn't enough.
We're going to get Robert down here. We don't have enough snakes to make the scene work. The set's too big for the amount of snakes that we have. We have to get more snakes. You know what we really need? We need about 7,000 snakes in addition to the 2,000 we have here to make it work.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
And you were right down there
Yes.
with thousands
Snake pit.
of snakes.
Right.
Were you scared?
Yes. For the first day was, everyone was a little squirmish, you know. And, you know, just everything was slithering. I mean, it was kind of, there's a disorientation because the floor was moving. And what happened was we couldn't tell which were the poisonous snakes, which were from the, you know, benign snakes. And then on the first day, the end of the first day, a cobra bit a python and killed it. So after that, we knew then which were the bad snakes. It was no problem.
I want one person whose job it is only to keep the pythons away from endangering the actors.
This is a hopeless task.
Right.
Whenever you saw a two-shot with a cobra and an actor in the shot, there would be a piece of glass, plexiglass, in between them. And it would have to angle it right so you didn't get a reflection. But if you look real closely, the discriminating eye can pick out a slight reflection there.